Yo, what's up guys and girls? I hope you're being well. Today I wanted to do something slightly different. If you've been watching my shorts and like the frequency of which I've been uploading recently, you probably noticed that my demeanor's been a bit off, and if I'm being honest with you guys, it's been really difficult, to hold myself accountable recently and do what I said I was going to do and everything like that. So it's been really hard to sort of pick myself up out of this rut. And I guess there's a few reasons to that, which I wanted to talk into a little bit. But for now, we're on the way to the park. And yeah, I just wanted to get out of the house and catch up with you guys and talk to you about what's been going on, and hopefully you guys can take something away from what I'm about to share with you and apply it to your own life, because I'm sure I'm not the only one right now that is going through these feelings and these doubts and everything like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, today is going to be very unedited, not unfiltered, but the more I do this and the more I make content and the more I open up to people online and sort of share my experience, the more comfortable I'm getting with it. And I think the more authentic I can be and the more real I can be, I think potentially the more you guys will get out of it as well. At least that's my hope, you know what I mean? But anyway, it's a pretty nice day outside, so let's get down to the park and yeah, let's get after it. Quite a lovely day, to be honest, so I'm quite glad that I came out here. But look, I have written some notes today on what I really just wanted to focus on, and I guess I'll just get straight into it, and the elephant in the room, so to speak, is this week would have been my third week in a row where I hadn't uploaded a long form piece of content. And there's a few reasons for this, and I'm not here wanting to make excuses, but essentially one of the main things that has been sort of eating at me is, my partner being away. And it's the first time in a long time we've spent so long apart, She's back home in China for a few weeks, and, it's very strange not having her around at the house. Prior to that though, I'd started having bouts of, I don't want to say depression or anything, but, I've sort of been in that place before, but I just, no motivation, man, and just a lot of stress going on at work. There's a lot of pressure on me at the moment to perform in my role. It's quite a critical role, I guess you could say, in the company that I work for. And there's just a lot of life stress eating at me, And I guess why this had such a big effect is because this whole channel, the whole reason why I made it is because I wanted to show up for myself daily. I had all these goals and I had all of these methods and sort of structure to the madness, and a lot of those goals and a lot of those routines that I had built up over the past few months, they sort of just fell apart, and me having to come to terms with that really was difficult. So the past few weeks I haven't really been reading every day. I stopped running every day after my half marathon because the pain was too much and I wasn't sort of handling that appropriately. I've been sleeping about 4 to 5 hours a night, and I haven't been cooking, and just all of these things, and I felt kind of embarrassed, to be honest, to admit that to myself, and also to admit it online. Like I said, this channel is about showing up for myself and showing up daily, and I felt like if I couldn't do that, then people would be like, what the fuck are you doing, And yeah, so that has really sort of kicked my ass in terms of my ego and my pride, and I think I just realized recently that it's okay, even when I started the channel, one of the biggest things I talked about was I want to share the journey, but not just the positive stuff. I want to share the negative stuff too, because it's all relevant and it's all real, I don't want to just feel like I'm lecturing to the camera or lecturing you guys on what you need to do to change your life and take these 5 easy steps and you can improve your life. That's not what the channel's about. It's like an authentic look at someone who's trying to make a change in their life, and there's going to be ups and downs with that, and that's what my friends have been saying to me as well, and the people around me and the people in my Discord community from YouTube sort of holding me accountable and just being like, you said you were going to do it, do it for yourself and stop being so hard on yourself and just pick yourself back up. So I guess that's just where I've been at. in the past few weeks. In terms of the expectations that I sort of set for myself, I feel like I can be quite all or nothing in a way. I wanted to sort of just acknowledge what the expectations are so that you guys know what I'm talking about. In terms of the content itself, I set myself an expectation of uploading one short a day. Before it was, I wouldn't say easier, but I was running every day. I was running 5K a day. I did a 5K per day challenge, and I was training for a half marathon, which I did, which I'm really stoked about. And I've still been running, I've still been exercising, so that's okay. But I still want to upload one short a day, whether it's me running or just something that I've found. It could be whatever I like. I think that in doing that, I have to do it. It's a non-negotiable in order for me to grow the channel and to be consistent and to show up daily for myself as per the personal brand, I suppose, right? And just as per what my needs are. Another thing is with long form content, I want to upload something at least like once a week or once a fortnight at maximum. Again, I just want to be able to upload something to document my journey and to, add value to other people's lives and stuff like that. And I guess the tricky thing with that is that your life doesn't always align with what your goals and your expectations are for yourself. For instance, like I got sick and, my partner was going through a rough time, and when the people you care about are going through stuff, you kind of have to put your stuff to one side, and that isn't to say that anything is her fault or anything, but it's just painting a picture. Sometimes life gets in the way, and that's okay. But so obviously when it comes to like the goals that I set and the expectations that I had for myself, I suppose like initially it was a lot easier, and I've talked about this before. It's a little fluffer. When you're trying to change your life, you're met with a sense of excitement and urgency, and there's a lot of momentum. But what I've found is that over the past 2-3 months, that's definitely sort of fizzled out, and now it's becoming more of a grind, and the reality is setting in. And that's okay. Like, I'm not terribly scared of that, but it just obviously means that I have to sort of realign on my strategy, and I'm sure that if you guys are sort of trying to change your lives in any sort of meaningful way, you guys have probably experienced this yourself. So in terms of the goals and the structure and everything that I had, regarding my goals and stuff like that, there's definitely been a dropping of the ball. And I guess in relation to that, it's not all doom and gloom. There's definitely been moments recently that have made me realize just how far I've come, and I think it's worth talking about those a little bit for my own sake, and to sort of, if you're going through something similar, then maybe give you some perspective on, get you thinking about some of the wins that you've had, so that it's not all just like a negative conversation. Like for instance, recently, I started running about 60-70 days ago, something like that now, right? And initially I was running like 40-minute 5Ks and stuff like that. I was having some really bad injuries propping up from my running, and I couldn't really figure out why. And at the time when I was at my most injured and most painful runs and stuff like that, I had set myself a challenge prior to that to run a half marathon. And coming up to the half marathon, which was at the end of last month, so that would have been April, I wasn't feeling confident about it, if I'm being honest. I was really nervous, but a good friend of mine told me that you have to do it. You set yourself this task and you've been training for it, and it would be a massive waste and it would be a big letdown for yourself if you didn't do it. So I took a break from running for a few days, and I did the half marathon, and I smashed it, and I felt awesome. Since then, I had taken a small break from running and things like that. I felt like I deserved it, and maybe that's kind of not the right mentality, but whatever. I took a few days to let my injuries heal and stuff. And since then, just yesterday, in fact, I went on a run, and I had sort of just tried to really change my style of running. I really wanted to be able to get back into it and stop getting injured. And I saw this awesome video on TikTok where this guy is like, people overcomplicate running. He says, all you have to do is just lean forward and kick your feet up and they'll catch you. And it might sound really stupid, and maybe if you're not like a runner, or if you're not running often, that might be like, oh yeah, duh, right? But I was definitely overstepping, and there was heaps of issues with my form. And just by doing that, last night I went on a run, and and I ran a sub 30. And if you've been watching the shorts, for me to get a sub 30, like I've been really having to work for them, and I didn't really understand why, you know. But yeah, I think I ran like a 29-minute yesterday, and I felt awesome, you know, and I was going fast too. So I could really tell that I had come a long way from the starting point at which I started at. You know, so just that realization gave me a lot of energy, and it helped me out. Another thing as well is that over this weekend, you know, I recognized how much of a rut I was in, and I knew I had to get myself out. So I wrote a big list of stuff to do, you know, like wash all my clothes, put the dishes away, like clean the house, you know, buy groceries or whatever. And over this weekend, I've just sort of been ticking them off, and little bit by little bit, you know, I've been sort of digging myself out of this hole. And even today with making this video, I honestly didn't really want to do it, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's sort of been quite challenging to sort of face the music and talk to you guys like this, and especially in public. I'm trying to get more comfortable in speaking in public, but it really took a lot for me to sit down here and just admit that I, you know, maybe made a mistake and dropped the ball and just fucked some things up, you know. And yeah, it's but I'm really glad that I'm sitting here talking to you guys and just being honest with myself, you know what I mean. And just one of my last points that I wanted to make here, and something that's been like a real game changer for me, and something that I'm extremely thankful for, is just the power of like having a community behind you, you know what I mean. You know, my channel is still really young, you know, but I think I've been really fortunate in the people that have been engaging with my content. There's a small group of people on the Discord community that I created, and just today I got a message from one of the members that has one of the larger channels actually, and he messaged me publicly in front of everyone and just said, you know, like, hey man, like, when's your next upload? It's been like 2 weeks, and just challenged me, you know. And I said, oh yeah, no, I'm uploading something today. At that point I had not recorded anything, like I'm recording now, you know. But he really like just put me on the spot and challenged me and just said, you know, well, it's still been 2 weeks, you know, like what are you doing? And my friends more or less said the same thing, in the sense that we had a meeting this morning, which we do every Sunday, where we sort of talk about business and money and entrepreneurship and all that stuff. And yeah, they just sort of sat me down and just said, you know, like, obviously you've been in a bit of a rut, what's been going on, what are you doing to get out of it, you know, and just sort of put me on the spot, you know. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I'm very lucky to have people like that in my surroundings and in my life and stuff like that, and even people at work pushing me to be better all the time, and just a lot of people around me in general that push me to be the best version of myself, you know, including my partner and my mum and stuff like that. And if my mum's watching, happy Mother's Day, by the way, I love you lots. But the reason why I say this is because, you know, I guess not all of us are so lucky to be surrounded by like-minded people and people that push us to be better and stuff like that. And if you don't have that, I would really urge you to like try and find a community of people, or build a community yourselves of people that help you be better. I don't think I would even be sitting here right now and living the life that I'm living, and quite honestly, I don't even know if I'd still be around, you know, if I didn't have some of the people that have gotten me out of my real hard times and things like that. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about that. And you know, if you are out there and you are feeling alone and maybe you don't have any friends, which is okay, by the way, there's no judgment, you know, we're all living different lives, but I really urge you to reach out, you know, and get some help and just build relationships with people. Like, hell man, like even message me, you know, or someone in the chat, or just drop a comment or whatever, you know. Like, we're social creatures, and like we lean on each other for support. And yeah, I'm rambling a little bit now, but you know what I mean. It's a topic that's quite close to my heart, and I'm just very thankful for, you know, everyone in the YouTube and TikTok and Discord and my friends and family. Like, thank you for all the support. It really has meant a lot. So look, I guess just to like sort of wrap this up and close it off, coming out of the other side of this has been quite hard, you know. I think I've been my own worst enemy in a lot of ways. Even sitting here recording right now just made me realize how easy it is to just like get up and do something. And I probably could have done this 2 weeks ago and have it been less embarrassing, but you know what, like that's what the channel's about, you know. Like I said before, I'm not here to put on a show or something like that. I'm not here to be disingenuous. The whole point of this channel is to own up and try and build a better life, and then hopefully if that resonates with some other people, or if someone's watching and they take something out of it and it helps them build a better life, or helps them be more honest and accountable with themselves, then I feel like I've won. I feel like I've done what I set out to do. Yeah, but I suppose from here, I do feel a lot better now, and to everyone that's asked and reached out to me and just checked on me and how I'm doing, I am doing better now. I'm feeling ready to jump back on the horse and get making content and to stay consistent. I don't want to give this up. Like, I don't want this to just be like a phase. Like, that's not, you know, I've done that sort of shit before and I've made channels before, but this is not the case this time. So moving forward, yeah, just thank you guys for the support, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'll continue uploading, don't you worry. But yeah, happy days. Anyway, let's get out of here. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So, you know, not all your jobs and all the things you've got going on, they're not going anywhere, but that isn't to say that you can just keep putting them on the back burner, you know. You're gonna be your own worst enemy, and if you procrastinate and you don't do the things that you said you're gonna do, like, it's gonna eat up at you, just like it ate away at me. But all in all, I hope this helps someone out there. You know, if you are going through something like that, and if this is, you know, resonated with you, then, you know, I'm glad. To all the mothers out there, it's Sunday today, happy Mother's Day. Shout out to my mum, I love you so much. Shout out to my partner, shout out to my friends and family, and you know, shout out to you guys as well that watch the videos, that have subscribed, that have messaged me and everything like that. I'm so thankful, and you guys give me a lot of meaning to my life, and I'm extremely happy, and I'm extremely thankful for your guys, you know, involvement in my life recently. So anyway, that's enough from me. You'd think a guy that runs so often as of recently wouldn't be out of breath just by walking and talking, but maybe it's because I'm slightly nervous and there's a lot of people around, so whatever. Anyway guys, that's all from me today. It's good to be back. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.